Hey everybody, it's your girl Nefarious, and today we're going to be sewing the Ralphy. The Ralphy is a fun and unique crossbody. You can wear it across the front or across the back. It's a very unique style bag. Now what makes Ralphy different is this false front. So when you open it up, you have a slip pocket and you have this window that lets you see inside the bag. You also have two zippers. You can put one if you so choose, but you can put two zippers, and you can open this bag. Look, you can open it all the way up if you want to. I don't know if I would do that, but I mean, you can. If you're wearing it across your body, I'd be worried about like something falling out. Be like, that's my luck. There goes all my stuff. But hey, you do you. I think halfway would be great. But let's not talk about it. Let's get into it. So let's go sew the Ralphy. So let's make the Ralphy. What we're going to need right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, is we need the back panel lining and the back panel. You're going to want your clear window, which you're going to cut right on the black line when you're cutting that out. You're going to want your front flap lining and your slip pocket lining. You're going to have a front panel. You're going to have your side gusset and your side gusset lining. And then you are going to have your zipper gusset and your zipper gusset lining with zipper tape that was cut to match. Then you're going to want a piece of zipper tape that was cut to about 24 1/4 length. And then you're going to want about 2 or 3 zipper pulls. And then, depending on which way you want to do this, you are welcome to do 4 strap connectors where you're going to want webbing to do the sling going across the back, or you can do 2 D-rings, which we can do the same way, which will give you the backpack method. On this video, I will be doing the sling method, so we will be using the strap connectors, which means I will need 2 D-rings and some webbing. As with other videos I have, you know that Nefarious likes to get as much done as I can before I head to the machine. And that is going to be no different than today. So with my webbing, I mentioned these are about 3 to 3.5 inches long. I'm going to go ahead and slide my D-rings on, and I'm going to fold those in half. And I'm going to take my my strap connectors, and I'm going to put these right in the middle with the D-rings facing downwards. And I've got these overhanging about 1/2 inch, and then I will clip these right sides together, just like so. And then I'm going to clip these together like this. When I take this to the machine, I'm going to do 2 sets of stitching. I'm going to do 1/4 inch around, and then I'm going to go back and then I'm going to do 1/8 inch around. And then I will trim those 2 corners so that they turn around really nicely. I'll do the second one real quick. So then I'm going to set these to the side. Afterwards, we're going to do I don't want to get these confused, set that away. We've got our zipper gusset and our zipper lining and our zipper tape. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my centers on these very quickly. Once you find the centers, I'm going to put double-sided tape. I'm going to use 1/4 inch today, and I'm going to put it along the edges of the zipper tape. Alright, I'm going to just pick one side. I'm going to line up my centers and then press so that the lining and the zipper tape line up very nicely, going all the way down. this together. Oops. Tight side down, line up the centers. Here you go, the sewing machine. Next, you need to find your back panel and your back panel lining. You're going to put those wrong sides together, and what you're going to do is you're just going to clip these in place because we're going to take it to the machine and we are going to baste them together. And that can go to the side. One more, you're going to grab your slip pocket. You're going to fold it wrong sides together, like so. You're going to fold that in half. You're going to make sure that everything lines up very neat and nice. Just like so. And then what's going to happen is we're going to go to the machine and we are going to top stitch that down. So let's do a quick recap of what we are taking to the machine to sew. So we're taking our slip pocket in which we are going to top stitch. We are going to take our back panel in which we are basting the lining to. We are going to take our first part of our zipper gusset in which we are going to sew that on, and we're going to take our two strap connectors. Remember, doing a 1/4 inch and 1/8 of an inch, cutting the corners off so we can turn these out and be ready for that. So let's go on over and take care of this real quick. For the zipper, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this out, and then I am going to baste this together and top stitch it closed. And I'm just baste stitching at 1/8 of an inch. Top stitch at 1/8. Last piece, we're going to just top stitch. And now we can go back to the table. Alright, so we did a whole lot of stuff over there. What we're going to do is first we're going to take our slip pocket that we top stitched. We're going to take our front flap lining. We are going to line this up So it should be to where you have one corner and one straight side, so those should line up pretty nicely. And then you're going to clip those together, just like that. And what's going to happen is we will end up taking that back to the machine where we will baste that down. But for now, we can set it to the side, get our zipper gusset, and I'm going to pull the tape back off. Going to put my centers together. Okay, we're going to sew that together just like we did the other side, and with that, just put it away. All right, we need to go ahead, find the centers on the long side, centers on the short sides. I would recommend you do that now. Then you're going to take your strap connectors that you sewed, cut those corners off. Do not cut the threads. You are now going to turn these out. Now you are more than welcome to top stitch these, add rivet if you'd like to right there, like in the center of the webbing strap. I've seen all kinds of different unique styles done to this. I'm going to leave as is, but you know, it's up to you. Now, when you freshly turn these out, you will have these like triangle things. You're welcome to cut those off. And then you want to find the center of your connector. And then what's going to happen here is that those centers that you found at the top and the bottom, you're going to line these up just like that. And we are going to baste those down at 1/8 of an inch. So before we go back to the machine, let's recap what we have, okay? Clean the table up because I have a hot mess. All right, so we have our back panel where we are going to baste our connectors down. We have our zipper panel where we're going to attach our final bit of our final bit of zipper, and then we are going to attach our front pocket to, or the front slip pocket to the panel. So let's go to the machine and take care of that. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and attach my pocket here. I'm going to set this to the side. I'll go ahead and baste my connectors on. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to baste this together and top stitch this down, everything at 1/8 of an inch. And hope my bobbin lasts that long. Now we go back to the table. With our zipper gusset done, you want to go ahead and add your 2 zipper pulls, one from each end. Today, so I like, we match. I will go ahead and cinch my edges here. Now, you need your side gusset and your lining, and you're going to put right sides together. We'll go ahead and do both ends here. When we get to the machine, this will be sewed down at 1/4 of an inch. Alright, so we're going to have you take your front panel and your 25-inch zipper tape. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put right sides together, and I'm just going to line up these flat sides. So right side with the flat sides. And I'm just going to take this around just like this. And just so you know, when you hit these corners, you're going to want to snip the zipper tape so it lays flat. But after you baste it down, you're going to want to go back with a lighter and cinch that so they don't fray. So then when we're at the machine, we are just basting this down at 1/8 of an inch. Now this overhang I will cut off, but I'm not going to worry about that until after it is basted down. So I'm going to set that to the side. Actually I'm wrong. So let's recap what's going to the machine. We are getting our gusset where we are going to sew these at 1/4 of an inch. And we are going to baste this down at 1/8 of an inch. So let's go ahead and go back to the machine and do that. When we are basting the zipper, it's probably going to be easiest to use a flathead just to kind of hold it as we're going. I could be completely wrong. We're going to, do this together. 1/8 of an inch baste down. So heads up, I am cutting off about 1/4 of an inch, but that's fine. I'm going to set that to the side. We're going to flip this out. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew our gusset together, which just simply means we're just going to make sure it doesn't move. So I'm going to sew my lining down to my exterior, just like this. So, flip it inside out. Might make it a little easier. So I'm going to pull it taut. 1/8 of an inch what I'm going for. And here we go. I am going to sew across the gusset seam, so I will pivot. Pivot. And sew this together. Sorry, didn't exactly make that the easiest thing for you all to see. Down, pivot. Trim that string down. Okay. Go across. One more. Pivot and sew down. Alright. Alright, so this piece is finished for at the moment. We've already got our centers marked, I think, but let's double check. We're going, if you want to go ahead and like double check, you're going to put your two side seams here together, just like this. I like to use clips just to keep myself in check. I'll do it again on the side, keep myself in check. And then you're going to want to make your snips at the bottom. Well, at the side here, because this is technically the side. And we've already got the snips on this side there. So I'm going to take care of those real quick, and then we'll go back to the table. All right, we have our gusset and we have our back panel. So your side gusset with which has got along, make sure you've got your centers marked on both sides. That is going to line up with the center on this part right here. So the side gusset goes to the straight side on the back panel. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip that down. That's going to be like our big first landmark. And then the center on the zipper gusset can go to the curve over here. And then I'm just going to clip around. You'll have to make some snips to make this lay flat, but that's fine. So then this is ready to go back to the machine, and we are going to base this on an 1/8 inch all the way around. So set that to the side. This piece right here, you need this and you need this. What we're going to do is you are going to tuck your zipper into this, and we are going to line up your edges just like this. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Stick a zipper pull on. It'll be easier now than later. So, okay. All right, now let's try that again. I'm gonna clip this on. Make sure I don't have any of that zipper tape. It's gonna get double caught because you don't want that to be sewed up when you do this. Alright, on this piece, we are going to sew at 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Again, take your time on these corners. Do not sew this. This is where we have to turn it out, so do not sew this. Alright, so let's kind of recap what we're doing. Going around this at 1/8 of an inch, going around this at 1/4 of an inch. Alright, let's go. Now it's time to go back to the table. At this point, what we're going to use is we're going to use some binding, and we're going to go all the way around the bag. Now where you start and stop is entirely up to you. I kind of want to start on a flat side, but you know, again, entirely up to you. So you would take this to the machine after you get it bound, and you're going to stitch this at 1/4 of an inch. But for right now, I'm going to set this to the side. I would pinker these corners a little bit if you wanted to. You don't have to. But ideally, what we're going to do is we are going to flip this out through this side that we just made. Once you get your panel completely flipped out, what we are going to do is we need this to lay flat. So we are going to base stitch this close, and then we are going to top stitch carefully all the way around, especially in these corners, and we will top stitch that down. So let's kind of recap where we're at again. We're going to base stitch, top stitch, and then we will stitch that all the way down. You guys are doing fantastic. We are almost there. Didn't finish basting the clothes. That's my bad. Alright, so this is what this looks like so far. Looks good. I'm going to set it to the side. Now I'm going to stitch this on 1/4 of an inch. And now that's attached. Back to the table. So now you need your window and you need your front panel and zipper. And the way this is going to work is it's going to just set on it like this. So we are going to just clip like so all the way around. Going around the front panel here. For this part, all we're doing is basting an 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then we're coming back. Alright, so we're going to take this and go back to the table. So here's where we're at. We need this piece and this piece, and we're almost finished, guys. Almost finished. So you're going to probably should have done this already, but we're going to try to get our centers as best we can for this back. You're going to line your center up with your side gusset, so flat side against the side gusset here, just like we did before. Now, this does seem like a little thick, so just kind of take your time here, okay? Alright, so we are going to baste this together at 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Then we will bind it, sew it, and turn it out, and we are finished. So now we take this back to the table so we can bind it. To finish this bag up, we just need to bind her. So just like I did the other side, I'm going to start on the side and go around, clipping in place. After you get this all bound up, you're going to sew it and then turn her out. Being that it is vinyl and WPC, I'm going to take it to the blow dryer, heat it up so we can turn it out. I hope you have enjoyed sewing the Ralphie. This was a little bit more challenging bag than we've done in other Nefarious videos, but it's still completely doable. If you're an adventurous beginner, you can do this bag. There is a couple call outs I do want to make. Watch when you're attaching your zipper to this front panel, because I put my zipper going the wrong way. That was my fault. With the way that this bag is designed, you really want your zipper to go towards the top, not towards the bottom. So just kind of keep an eye on where your zipper is going. But other than that, this is really great. It finishes about 12.5 inches long, about 7.5 to 8 inches wide, and it's about 3.5 inches like unstuffed from here to here. You can make it a crossbody, a sling. You could even turn it into a backpack if you so choose. I did the crossbody option. So it's super cute. Again, you know, it's got that cross pocket with a slip pocket. This is a great thing. I know that there are some really cute designs coming out in the future rounds, so I am really excited to see how those come out in this design. So while you're making your makes and you're posting them out in the wild, make sure you're not just tagging K&A Custom Fabrics. Make sure you're tagging your girl Nefarious. If you like the videos, make sure you're liking and subscribing so you make sure you see all my videos as they pop up. And then for now, it's ta-ta, but it's not goodbye. I'll see you around.